Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Liz, and in today's video, we're doing home decor DIYs to save you a ton of money. I absolutely love going to the thrift store, and when I find a piece of furniture and I see it and I'm like, I know exactly what I'm gonna do with that, I get really excited. And that happened when I spotted this desk at the thrift store. I thought it was really cool on the side, and the best part is it was only $20. I have this little alcove area that I really wanted a desk for. I've been searching around for something small, and this was the perfect price. I really liked the wood color, so I didn't want to change that up, but I did want to put something on the top. You can see on the side of the desk, there's a vertical lines. I wanted to continue those lines up to the top by just bringing them up. So I measured how far apart those vertical lines were, and they were about 8 inches. I decided I was going to create kind of like a table runner along the top with paint and stencils. I measured 6 inches on each side, and then I added in some frog painter's tape to just mark those lines. Once I had 3 marks, I took a long piece of my painter's tape and put it so that it was nice and straight. And I repeated that on the other side. Now, one of my tricks for getting really affordable paint is to buy it in paint samples. Paint samples are usually really inexpensive, and you can have them made up any color that you want. I'm going to use one of my blue paint samples and paint in the middle. And I'm going to do 2 coats of paint. I wanted to create a stencil to go along the top, so I needed to use my Cricut to cut it out. I want to thank Cricut for sponsoring today's video. Most of you are familiar with a Cricut, but Cricut is simply a smart cutting machine that allows you to personalize your projects. Really, you can use Cricut with hundreds of different materials, and when you get your Cricut machine, it comes with a free software called Design Space that you can use either on your phone or your desktop computer. The Design Space is really cool because you can create your own designs, or you can choose from hundreds of designs that are already in the Design Space. I kind of like to do a combination of both. Sometimes I create my own designs, sometimes I use ones that Cricut already has. Now for this desk stencil, I went with a stencil that was already created in Design Space. I went in and I sized that stencil to the correct size that I wanted it to be, and then I duplicated it so I would have a couple of stencils. I ended up cutting out 4 of these stencils. Once you have your design the way you like it, you can send it to cut. Now the machine that I'm using is the Cricut Explorer 3. This is one of Cricut's newest machines. I have to say the Cricut Explorer 3 is a pretty awesome machine. It cuts hundreds of different materials. It cuts about 2 times faster than normal Cricut machines. It also is compatible with smart materials. I feel like Cricut did a really good job upgrading this machine because when I cut out materials, they're super accurate. Once my stencil was cut out, I weeded it out. Now when your paint is completely dry, then you can add your stencil on, and I'm just gonna start on one end and put it down, and then I'm gonna use Waverly white chalk paint and a foam brush, and I'll just stipple on the paint. Now, I don't wait for the paint to dry. I immediately pull the stencil up. I feel like this helps with lines and making sure it looks nice and crisp. And then I'm going to continue by putting another stencil down. I'm gonna try my best to line it up so it goes in a consecutive line. Now, one of the reasons I like using these Cricut stencils is I appreciate the sticky on the back. That really helps whenever you're doing a stencil to not have that bleed through underneath with your paint. Now I'll continue adding my stencils and adding my paint till I get to the end of my project. This thrifted desk has totally been transformed. It's now personalized, and I think it's gonna be perfect in my space. Next, I wanted to show you an inexpensive wall art piece. Now, I've saved a ton of money by using my Cricut machine to create some of my wall art pieces. For this project, you're gonna need 11 by 14 frames. These are ones I already had on hand from Walmart, as well as 2 black poster boards. Recently, I learned how to do the foil technique on Cricut, and I have to tell you, I was really nervous to do this at first. I thought, oh, that's gonna be so tricky, so hard. I definitely want to show you guys how easy it was to do so that maybe you might want to try it in a future project. Again, I'm gonna be using a graphic from the design space because Cricut has some really cool foil designs. I'm gonna pull that up into the design space. Now, the thing with this one is you have to pull down the menu that says that you're planning to foil it instead of cutting it. That's really key here whenever you're doing foiling. Once I size my image the way I want, I'm going to send it to the cutting machine. Now, you are going to need a couple more tools for this. Cricut has a special blade called the Foil Transfer Kit. You're gonna need that blade, but it's really easy. All you have to do is pull out your old blade and put this one in. It's really easy to change out. Now, for your mat, let me show you how to put that together. You're going to use your 12 by 12 mat, and you're gonna start by putting down a poster board. Now, my poster boards, I cut down so that they were 11 by 14, and I created 2 of them. I'm gonna put the 11 by 14 black poster board down on my mat. Then I'm gonna take a 12 by 12 foil sheet and put it down over the black poster board. One of the things I recommend is to tape down the foil around the edges. This is going to help keep it in place while it's in the cutting machine. So once you do that, all you have to do is load it into your machine, set it to cut. It's gonna ask you like what materials you're using, if you have the right cutting tools, and then you can cut it out. You can remove the foil after it's done cutting, and I have to tell you, it looks so cool. I absolutely love it. I did create a second one, but I did it as a mirror image from my first one. I went in and cut out both of my posters so I didn't have that border line. And then I traced and cut out another 11 by 14 frame. I E6000 my poster board to the other poster board, kind of just creating like a black mat to it. And then I put them back into my frames. I think they look so elegant. You could really customize this. You could change the colors of it to be whatever colors work for you, but I love the way these frames turned out. If you guys have watched this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Comment the word of the day, which is flower. Do you guys have any of these broommates or koozies just kind of hanging around your house? I want to give you an option to make them look super cute for the summer months, and really this took me no time at all. Now, one of the cool things about the Cricut design space is they have a lot of different images to choose from. So I went into the images, and I love doing it on my phone. Honestly, I feel like it's easier than doing it on my desktop, and I pulled up daisies, flowers, until I found a design that I liked. Then once I pull them in, I can duplicate them, I can size them to the correct size that I wanted them to be. I also pulled in some leaf patterns. I sent those to cut on my Cricut Explorer 3 with some white permanent vinyl. Once they were done cutting, I weeded them out. And then I just used some transfer tape and put that down. You want to make sure that you rub your transfer tape really well. Then you pull off the backing. Then I just simply placed them around my broommate koozie, and I didn't have a plan for this. I just kind of put them on until I was happy with the design. And this took this ordinary koozie and made it super cute. You guys have to try this. This is such a fun way to personalize your koozies or cups around your house. Now, do any of you have inexpensive spoon rests that you like to leave sitting out so that you can use them on a regular basis, but they may not look the best? I'm gonna show you how I took a spoon rest and really made it super cute and something I can't wait to put out on my countertop. Now, you could use any spoon rest you have. I grabbed this wood one off of Amazon. I'll link to it down below, as well as any of the cutting tools, machines that I'm using in this video. I'll link all that down below as well. I'm gonna use my frog painter's tape to tape off at a diagonal. Now, the reason I like frog painter's tape is it's really one of the best painter's tape for making sure that you don't have paint that gets underneath your tape. It works better than the other options, so I do really like it for my DIY projects. I'm gonna use that same paint that I used on the desk earlier, one of those sample paints, and I'm gonna put 2 coats on with a foam brush. I'm making sure that I just put the paint on the top. I don't want to see it on the side, so I was really careful around the edges. I'm gonna let that completely dry. Once that's dry, I'm gonna come back in and add some more painter's tape at another diagonal line just to give it a little bit of interest. I'm gonna use another sample paint that I have in a darker color and put that on the end. In Cricut Design Space, I wanted to find a piece of trim. I found this border piece that I thought was perfect. I sized it and then I sent it to cut on some white permanent vinyl. I'm going to weed that piece out. Since it's one solid piece, I'll just pull it off the backing and I'll place it onto the edge of my paint line. I used my regular scissors to cut it off so that I didn't have any excess of the vinyl on the edges. I'll just place that firmly on the spoon rest. And here's how adorable it looks sitting out in my kitchen. One of the things I've been finding myself cutting a lot of lately are the stickers in Cricut Design Space. My girls love stickers. They want to put them on their devices, on their water bottles, notebooks, pretty much everywhere. And I love that I can create them with my Cricut. For this project, you're going to need to get the printable sticker paper. Now you can use your own stickers. I like to use the ones that are in Design Space. I pulled them up. The one that I'm going to use actually comes with a sheet of 6 different stickers. Now you can print them out on your normal printer. So that's what I did first. I started by putting the paper into my printer and I printed out all 6 sheets. Once you do that, then you're simply going to add the sticker paper to a mat, put it into your Cricut Explorer 3. The Cricut Explorer 3 actually has sensors to detect the sticker lines, and it's going to help with a more accurate cut whenever you're cutting them out. And I'll do that with all 6 of my stickers. From there, it's really simple. All you have to do is just pull the stickers up like you would on a normal sticker sheet. I'm gonna decorate a notebook with these Cricut stickers. They're so adorable, perfect for summer or back to school. I would love to know what your favorite project was down in the comments, and I'll link to all the Cricut materials that I'm using in today's video down in the description box as well. And I'll talk to you in our next one. Bye.